We're back for season 2.
Yes, it's bigger. It's badder. It's...
Oh, just get on with it.
Bad Scripts.
Hello and welcome to the Bad Scripts podcast presents Last Resort. And we're here for script 1 finale of season 2. We're 8 episodes in. And joining me, yeah, I think you all know who it's going to be. It wouldn't be the same without my co-host with the most. It's the inevitable, the irredeemable Mr. Mike Garlia. Hi, Mike.
Well, inevitably, I am also here. So rather apt introduction today. How are you doing, Steve?
I am very well. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I am happy to be back in Bonnie, Scotland for this recording. And my days in the big smoke are now behind me for a little while at least.
Well, it's nice to have you back on home turf. It's nice to be here for what is the finale. Is it right to call it a finale on when it's the end of a script, but we still got 2 more to go in this particular season?
We could call it the chapter, I suppose, the end of this round of chapters. And let's not forget, I mean, we are 8 episodes in, but the time that it's taken, this has only been a few weeks into the season, into the pre-season even. Yeah. So we've still got the rest of the season to go yet. So I hope we've got enough left in us, Steve, to be able to finish this story off and give all of our characters the redeeming arcs and storylines that they so rightfully deserve.
Well, I think we can honestly say that we know what's going to happen. We probably know what's going to happen for the next God knows how many years. But the point being is that we've got a structure. We know where we're going with it. We've just got to get those words onto the paper. So let's see how we get on. You know what? I don't want to waste any time today too much. I think we've got lots of script to get through. So why don't we dive straight in and find out what's happening down at Camp Holidays?
I think so. And just before we do dive in, I have to say, as a caveat, I'm incredibly sorry for this next scene. I still cannot do a Geordie accent. One of our fans did write in a notice that Daisy was very muted, which was a conscious decision. We've changed that now. She's going to be talking. For anyone in the Northeast, I'm sorry.
Interior, wardrobe, morning. There are a throng of people coming in and out of the wardrobe in various states of dress as they make their way to the ongoing auditions. Daisy is handing out various bits of costumes and props as hopefuls come in and out. She looks exhausted already, and it's only the start of the day. Robin sheepishly enters as Daisy finally sits down and sips a mug of hot tea, dipping in a Garibaldi biscuit and eating it one big soggy bite.
Yeah, champion that.
Noticing Robin.
All right, Robin, pet, you need something?
Robin walks over and looks awkward.
Well, come on then. Can't got your tongue?
It's okay. I didn't realise how busy you are.
Oh. Bernie's got me running around like blue-eyed fly. Well, that's not right.
That's Welsh.
You know, Bernie's got me running around like a blue-eyed fly, playing dress up with a performance like this place is his own toy box.
Oh, I can come back.
Don't be silly. It's great, this. Reminds me of being back on those variety shows on the ITV. Bloody champion, like. You know what I'm saying?
Robin nods his head.
Now, what can I do for you?
I just need some advice, Daisy. You know, to sort of stand out.
Stand out from what?
The crowd. Have you seen them all out there? They look like real pros. It's really intimidating.
Well, surely they'll see how good you are when you show them what you got, pet.
Robin sits down. I'm frightened it's just not enough. I need to go in there and blow them away. I mean, be completely unique, different, a superstar. I really want this show, Daisy. I need it. Daisy dips another Garibaldi into her tea and puts it into her mouth.
It's a bit dramatic, like, but I'll help you. All right?
Oh, thank you. Daisy gets up and walks to the costume stands and begins flipping through various sequined and flashy outfits. She goes back to one and pulls it out.
How about this?
Robin stands up and looks at it. It's a jumpsuit?
Nah, not just any jumpsuit, mind. This is a 1974 Viva Las Vegas Elvis replica. Look at those rhinestones. Pure class-like.
Robin shakes his head and grimaces. Oh, I don't think it's me. I wasn't really looking for fancy dress.
It's near fancy dress, man. It's a showmanship. They'll remember you, if nothing else.
Daisy puts it back and once again begins skimming through costumes before finding another. Once again, she pulls the hanger out to reveal a black leather jacket, white t-shirt and blue jeans.
Danny Zuko.
Robin shakes his head.
Well, I could add some change and give it you a George Michael vibe.
Oh, this is hopeless. No offense, Daisy.
I cannot help you. If you cannot help me out, what do you have in mind? My brew is getting cold.
I don't know. Something bright, colourful, utterly unexpected, but, practical. A statement piece that screams, I'm one to watch. Daisy thinks for a few moments before nodding her head. She walks to another rail and after a few moments of rummaging, reveals a top. Robin smiles. Perfect. Robin takes the shirt from Daisy and eyes it up and down.
Good. And if you mess up the audition, don't be blaming me.
Wow. So,
God, that is so hard. That's so hard to do. Honest to God, I can, even in my own head, all I'm thinking is Daisy sounds like a really bad impression of the Hairy Bikers.
Well, I don't know if the Hairy Bikers came from sort of Cardiff. You might be a bit closer to it. But no, there was a couple of lines in there that you were almost convincing. I really did enjoy. There was a few early on where you really nailed the Geordie, and then it sort of went to the valleys a little bit. But
I don't know how to tone it, so I go really low. Daisy goes really low, man.
She's
know what I'm saying?
I did think there was a little bit of that, You know what I need you to do? You need to go away and start listening to some of Sarah Millican performing and just listen to her inflection and her tone.
Do you know, it's just, for me, it's one I'm never going to get. I have to own it. I'm always going to play Daisy, but I'm just never going to connect with this. And you've heard my accents and stuff, and it's reading it but I'm truly, truly sorry for the high pitch. I sounded like a 13-year-old pre-pubescent teen whose voice was breaking half the time with the pitch changes in the lines. But there we go.
Interior dance studio morning. Bernie and Judy are stood at the front, facing off to the nervous and determined faces. Most are either stretching, doing vocal exercises, or practicing lines from pieces of paper. Almost all of the performers are wearing dark or muted colours, their demeanour clearly demonstrating a high level of training and discipline. Okay, lovies, this is for the principals. You'll start with your chosen monologue before singing just one verse of your selected musical number. You have 5 minutes to shine, so make it count. As Bernie says this, the door opens and in walks Robin. The studio goes quiet as the door slams shut behind him, drawing everyone's attention to both him and his chosen attire. Robin walks to the centre of the room, all eyes on him, wearing a tight leotard, accompanied by a very loud, multicoloured Hawaiian shirt, depicting birds, fruit, and the sea. It's several sizes too big and flaps behind him as he takes his place, oblivious to the sniggers behind him. Okay, well, there's a first time for everything. Places in order of height, please. The performers move into a line with Robin nearer the back, his unmistakable shirt outlined against the dark shades of everyone else. Interior, stage manager's office, theatre venue, day. On the walls around the office are signed pictures depicting some of the famous stars who appeared in the venue over the decades. Bernie and Judy are sat at a table. Bernie has his glasses perched on the end of his nose. The table is filled with pictures of auditionees, with notes attached to each file. So she's a definite no. Too tall, good mover, but not for the chorus.
Agreed. A real shame. What about this one?
Judy points to an unseen photograph on the table. Oh, yes, he is 100% to play our leading man. Loved his monologue. You know, he reminds me of a young Michael Ball. Did I tell you about the time I did Pebble Mill with Michael? Oh, such a sweetheart. Very giving. Bernie's name-dropping doesn't impress Judy, who rolls her eyes.
So you have all but 2 spaces filled. Assuming you're happy with your cast, I can have the pick of the rest. Yes?
Well, let's not jump the gun. I haven't cast my understudies yet.
I'm sorry? Understudies? For God's sake. We have 2 other venues we need shows for. You'll have to compromise on some of these people. We can't afford nor have the time for more auditions.
Do we need to go through this again, darling? Look, I was brought in to bring a little West End to the proceedings. Glenn sought me because he knows what I can do with a bunch of nubile young things and a dimly lit theatre. Gold, sweetheart, 24-carat gold. Now, I will pick the people I see fit. And if you want to fight over the scraps for your little rep shows, then you're more than welcome. Judy's eyes narrow as Bernie's barbed comment.
Yes, Bernie. You have repeatedly reminded us of your status and importance.
Yes, dear. And I should continue to do so until the penny drops.
Let's just get through this, shall we? What about Robin? I thought he had a solid audition.
Well, he was fine, but awful dress sense. But I don't think he's ready. Too many bad habits. Judy smiles broadly. Bernie sees this, but doesn't react.
And who are your final 2?
Bernie scans the Polaroids and pulls out 2. Yes to him. He's worked with me before. I'll give him the narrator part, something to get his teeth stuck into, you know. And I really liked her. She surprised me with how good she is, actually. I'll take her as my 3rd principal. I'm in the mood to give somebody their big break.
Fantastic. You have your cast. Are we done?
Yes, Judy, you're free to go. Judy discreetly picks up several of the discarded Polaroids and places them inside a folder. Bernie spots this, but doesn't react. Judy gets up to leave. Pleasure as always, love. Oh, and good luck casting your variety shows. Judy whispers out of earshot.
Oh, go fuck yourself.
So, a bit to digest there.
Sound a lot like Margaret Thatcher.
There was the lady's not for turning.
Lady. I am the Iron Lady.
You were very. But we'd go with the Meryl Streep. We won't go with the Gillian Anderson on that one.
Let's not. I can't look at Gillian Anderson in the eye ever since that. Anyway, but
you look her in the eye a lot, or
I did back when I had a poster on my bedroom wall when I was 16.
Yeah, but you couldn't look her in the eye now. Right. So, Robin's attempts at wowing the auditionees, that's the auditioners, Bernie and Judy. What was that all about? Do you think he just felt like he wasn't? Did he have a bit of a pang of nerves or something?
Well, I'm sure if we had a psychologist or a mindfulness professional here, I think they would probably say that he's feeling really insecure and needs something to go into battle with and He wants to stand out from the crowd and make himself unique, but doesn't feel in himself that he has enough confidence to be able to do that through his performance, I would say, having wrote it with you.
But I was going to say, this sounds like a bit of a far-fetched scenario. I can't imagine anybody would ever go into an audition wearing a loud Hawaiian shirt. Is that the truth? Would anybody ever do that, Mike?
I don't think in the history of anything anyone would knowingly do such a stupid thing.
Really? Are we going to leave that where it is, or did you want to expand on maybe the?
You keep pushing me into corners where I reveal far too much, and yes, so this is based on real life, as a lot of things are in the show, and yes, I did go to an audition wearing a bright Hawaiian shirt as described, although it wasn't several sizes too big. It was probably 2 sizes too small. So lifted up quite a lot, and so it happened exactly as it happened in the script. So I had an audition for Saturday Night Fever in the West End.
Wow!
And this was coming out of the Adam Garcia type tenure of it really took off again.
It was massive, wasn't it? It had the Mega Mix had been released again, and
I was invited to audition for the show, and I was a big fan of Saturday Night Fever, and I did have a conversation with a friend who does work in wardrobe, and I was talking away to her, and I said, "Can you help me out a little bit?" And she was the one that said, "Wear this Hawaiian shirt," and I remember looking at it and going, "All right," and she was like, "No, this will stand. They want flamboyance, you want this, that, and the other," and I did wear a Hawaiian shirt, and I walked into the studio, and I've never wanted the ground to open up as much as possible. Not only did everyone know each other, well, it seemed like everyone knew each other, but they were all looking at me as well. And I look, in any audition, you always get one mentalist. You always get one mentalist. Just watch Britain's Got Talent or any of those shows, right? Look around the room. If you can't see a mental person, then it's probably you.
And when we say mental person, you mean someone who's not probably supposed to be there, that's a little bit out of their depth and maybe taking a chance.
I don't mean mental. I just mean someone that doesn't fit the mold of what you would expect to be there, And you see it all the time with auditions, then they start singing and they're amazing. As in this case, when I started dancing, we had to learn this dance routine really, really quickly, and I struggled to pick it up. And then when I was called forward with the 3 other people to perform, it was disastrously terrible. So not only could I not do the dance routine, although I didn't break dance this time, not only could I not keep up with the other dancers and I fell behind on everything, I was also wearing a really stupid, bright Hawaiian shirt.
So it was really obvious that you weren't keeping time.
It was really obvious that I was out on my depth. And they asked me to leave, really, like Hawaiian shirt guy, and I was like, yeah. And they went, yeah, you can leave. And I was the only one of the 4 that wasn't asked to stay. So I went all the way down to London, did that audition, and learned a very valuable lesson there. And that is, it's okay to look different as long as you're talented.
And thank you, Mike, because it's stories like that help us build the script, and it's the experiences that we've had over the years doing things and these crazy things that we can now laugh about and we can make into a story that hopefully entertains other people. So
and I'm happy to share, because it, in all seriousness, it's a funny story and it's a funny memory. It was incredibly embarrassing at the time, but it did show me, certainly me trying to be a dancer, and I'm not really a trained dancer. I just kind of had some rhythm and fell into it and managed to get enough to get by and get, some decent roles dancing. But it did show me my limitations on dancing, where years and years and years of training does play a big part. And I hadn't had years of training. A lot of these people had. And when you put me in a mix with these guys, you're going to look terrible. And I think for me, when I was offered further auditions, I declined them, because I just realized, no, actually, my limitations exist there. And I don't really want to put myself through that stress and the embarrassment of failing. So it was a good eye-opener for me, whereas before I went in, I thought I was invincible and I could just do anything.
And you know what? Some people might say, don't give up. That might have just been the first the first one, and you might have picked it up a bit more. But you know what? We make these decisions for reasons. We wouldn't be here talking about this now if you had. So it's
And don't give up. Do not give up. Never give up. Keep going. And of
Yeah.
course, I did. I just decided that wasn't an avenue I wanted to explore any further.
Exactly.
As far as I wanted to go. And I think that's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, 100%, Mike. Thank you. Interior, green room, afternoon. The room is abuzz, a hive of activity as people are gathered around the notice board. Adam is sat on the sofa next to Paula, who's wearing half of Moo the cow.
Jesus, man. You think I was half of Andrew? No, wait, I'm not.
Why are you Welsh now? What's going on with Adam?
No, I've got an identity crisis. Right, Adam. Tune in, Adam.
That's staying in. That's staying in.
Okay. Jesus. You think it was Andrew Lloyd Webber auditioning this lot? Never seen so much palaver. I mean, it's not such a big deal.
Jealous much? Mind you, I'm surprised you haven't auditioned. I thought this would have been right up your street.
And I've got enough fun with the boy band and everything. Got a feeling we're really going to break through this year. Going to try and get some gigs sorted outside of this place. Yeah, but keep that on the down low. We don't want the bosses finding out.
Paula laughs gently, momentarily lifting her cool and calm and collected persona. Your secret safe with me, Ronan. That was the wrong accent. I'm Geordie then. Your secret safe with me, Ronan. Adam smiles as Bernie walks in and, without turning, pins a piece of paper to the notice board. Written in big, bold black letters are the words, cast list. Bernie turns and leaves as Paula immediately stands up and walks over. Ali and Robin enter the green room, followed by others who are hanging around the department. They start clamouring to see the list. Ali, you did it! Ali shoots forward with excitement, seeing her name on the list, and squeals with delight.
Oh my God, I made principal cast.
What about me? I can't see. Sorry, Robin, I don't see your name. What? Robin shoots forward and pulls the paper off the wall, scanning it over and over, as other performers are looking over his shoulder with looks of joy or disappointment. I don't believe this. Adam stands up and puts his arm around Robin's shoulder.
Hey, look on the bright side. We've still got the band. Hey, bud?
Interior, Ent's office, afternoon. Mark is sat on the edge of his desk, listening to a demo tape. Judy strides in. There's a spring in her step.
What's on the demo tape?
Well, I was thinking, because this reminded me of an episode. An episode reminds me of a situation when I once went into one of the boss's office and he was listening to a demo tape and he went, "Steve, come and have a listen to this." And it was "Who Let the Dogs Out." Do you remember that by the Bar Men, was it? Yeah. He said, "Listen to this." He said, "I think this is going to be big." And I was like, "Yeah." And obviously it was quite a hit at the time. So yeah, that just reminded me. So I thought when we wrote this scene, that was nice to have him just sort of doing that in the background.
That's great. So Mark is listening to Who Let the Dogs Out.
Is that what we're suggesting he was listening to?
And that's what he's listening to as Judy strides in.
Roof, 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 roof. Okay. Maybe he turns it off just before she starts speaking.
Now, looking cheerful, Judy. What's tickled your fancy? Things are finally looking up. Did the casting with Bernie. Whilst the man is still as deplorable as ever, I at least can now get on with the other show's cast. Yeah, he's missed out on a couple of great performers. I think I can really do something with what we have. Excellent. I know this hasn't been easy for you, Judy. For the first time this season, Mark, I think it just might work out.
There is a loud whoop from the green room, which stops Judy in her tracks.
Oh, what is all that noise?
Ernie's put up the cast list.
Has he? I thought we were calling people individually. He's so dramatic, that man.
Judy turns and exits, frustrated at the unprofessional behaviour. Walks through the corridor and is about to enter the green room when she bumps into Bernie, who is loitering outside, basking in the excitement, as various excited cast members are celebrating with their friends. Now you hear that, Judy? The sound of pure joy? It would seem I've made another group of hopefuls' dreams come true again.
Quite.
Just as Bernie is about to speak, Robin bursts into the corridor with the cast list in his hand. Mr. DeVere, can I have a word? Ah, yes. Robert, of course. Robin's somewhat taken aback. Robin, actually, but it doesn't matter. I wanted to talk to you about the casting. I mean, about my name not being on the list. Ali's made principal, and she's only been here 5 minutes. Are you a female lead, Robin? Robin stutters, surprised by this question. Did you audition for the female lead, Robin? Well, no. Then I believe you have your answer. Plus, she was exceptional. Judy interjects before Robin can speak.
Now, Robin, I know it's disappointing, but I have some amazing shows planned, and you are going to be front and center. So, chin up.
About that, Judy. Robin's not going to be available for those little ditties. I've decided we need a good understudy team, and with Robin here being an accomplished performer, I believe I can smooth off the rough edges. He turns to Robin. Darling, I'm sure you're going to be an important member of my cast. You'll learn all the principal roles and be integral to the show. Well done, young man. Stick with me, kid, and I'll make your star out of you yet.
Annie, can we discuss this in private, please?
No, Judy. Decision has been made. Casting complete. It's now on with the show. Bernie laughs and claps his hands together as other performers crowd him, expressing their thanks and appreciation. The rage on Judy's face is evident. Without saying a word, she turns on her heels and storms away. Oh dear. Someone has not taken their HRT today. Now, listen, everyone, I need your focus. No distractions. So any other commitments, relationships, or endeavors you have, get it out of your system and clear your minds. Monday, we start rehearsals. Bernie winks at Robin before throwing his scarf over his shoulder and striding off down the corridor. Robin stands momentarily stunned before a broad smile crawls across his face. He walks back into the green room to Adam.
You okay, Robin?
Robin stares at the cast list in his hand, still smiling.
Robin, are you all right?
Robin looks up at Adam. Oh, yeah, I'm good. As a matter of fact, I'm bloody great. Adam smiles back and nods his head. What was it you were saying anyway, Adam?
Fusion, remember? Fusion? It's going to take off this year, mate. I've got some great ideas and routines. Been trying to tell you about it for ages now. I can never get you.
I'm done with amateur hour. I've got real shows to worry about now.
What? What do you mean, Robin? You can't just... Wait, what are you saying?
I'm saying I'm done with your silly little pipe dream. I quit. Dun, dun, dun.
How can you quit Fusion?
I know, it's disgusting, isn't it? Walking away.
They are fused together. It's science. Fusion.
Yeah. I know, it really is like what could have been. Maybe it'll still come round. Maybe they'll still, come back together. Who knows?
All right.
It can't be.
Let me ask this question then. How many bands, let's look at boy bands and girl bands, do you know who split and then get back together and are successful?
Multiple. You always have the reunion, don't you? That's the point. They split, they're not successful individually, and then they come back together for the reunion tour.
I can't think of a single one. One that reaches the dizzying heights of their success when they come back together.
Maybe. Well, I'm sure. Yeah. Okay. Spice Girls. They've had a massive, massive world tour. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
they missed. They had a member missing, so they technically didn't reform.
No, they did have a member back when they all came back together for 2012. Don't you remember at the Olympics and stuff?
No, that's impossible because I was also in the Spice Girls and I wasn't.
You were one of the Spice Boys. I know. It's fine. Yeah, you've had other bands that have come back together. Things like the Beautiful South. They came back together and they've been amazing.
Not a girl band. Well,
Well, they're boy and girl band, but there you go, they're boy and girl. But no, there's been a few. Take That came back together, and then they had a massive tour.
No,
actually, been massive.
Take That did trend the road because I think they were probably equally, if not more, successful
second time around. And then Robbie came back because he saw how successful they were being.
Yeah, where is he now? Not who's there? Robbie who? Showbiz. But then maybe that's the point then. So okay, so given that theory that you have to go dormant between 10 15 years before re-merging because your target audience back when you were originally in these bands were teenagers and now they're all adults and stuff. There comes a point when you get to around 30 that you have nostalgia and you want, so that means we have to wait 15 years for Fusion to get back together.
The trouble is it's already been however long 22 years since the real thing.
These guys. Yeah,
exactly. But you know what? They hadn't even really made it yet, had they? They had something. They had a spark, but I think the fuse has been extinguished before it reached the explosion point. Sadly, at the moment,
in my mind, and they've made it in the script, Steve. They have made it, and it will live on forever. And everyone, each person that listens to this, will also know that they've made it just because they're listening to this.
Brilliant.
I mean, that thing where bands break up and people start crying and fans are screaming. And so that's what
are you referring to my breakdown when S07 finally went their separate ways? Is that what you're talking about?
It took a lot of coaching to get you through that.
It was a hard time,
You saw it happen. It was the same, like you get really attached. It was the same when 5 became 4 because one of the members of 5 left and they didn't replace him.
Yeah, but they
called them 5 even though there's 4 of them.
They still do it now. There's 3 of them, and they actually tour around as 5. It's very confusing. Yeah, it's extremely confusing. It's not. If you've got sort of a number disorder, then don't bother going to see them because it would just confuse you even further.
I've never recovered from the cheeky girls splitting up, to be honest with you, and they were twins. I never thought that would happen, and I thought I'll double down on these girls because
I'm sorry. Anyway, they're back together, and they're doing it, and they're doing a new. I think they're doing a new tour or a new single. It was on the news the other day, so it all comes round full circle. Is all I'll say.
With their one-hit wonder.
Hey, I think they had 2 or 3 actually. You'll find.
Now, if Hanson came back with Mbop, but an adult kind of rock version, like a kind of heavy metal, I think that might just
that work for you, would it?
Mbop.
Oh dear. On that note, I think we'll leave that there. Let's move on. Interior Entertainment's office, afternoon. The door bursts open and closes. Karen jumps up from her desk, spilling her glass of water.
I won't have this, Mark. It's unprofessional. Sorry, I was too much.
Did you know what you sounded like then? You sounded like Baron Greenback from Danger Mouse.
Okay.
The Toad.
I've lost it. Right. Judy. Channel my Judy. I won't have this, Mark. It's unprofessional.
Yes, you're right. It is. Go on. You got this.
I won't have this, Mark. It's unprofessional. What's happened now? The worst thing to ever come to camp holidays.
Oh, worse than the outbreak of scabies in 1994 infected half the lifeguards.
Sorry, all I keep thinking now is Baron Greenback from Danger Mouse. All I can see in my mind. Stop it. Come on.
When you can do this, you can do this.
Come on, darling. Focus my inner.
Maggie Thatcher.
No, it's not Maggie Thatcher. It's what's her name? Absolutely fabulous woman.
Yes. Joanna Lumley is what you're thinking.
Focus, Joanna Lumley. Joanna Lumley. Okay, thank you.
Right, let's carry on. Oh, that outbreak of scabies in 94. Oh, infected half the lifeguards, that one.
No, an even worse parasite. That shit Bernie. Whatever he's done now, the answer is still the same. I'm sorry, Judy, but our hands are tied. Are they, Mark? Are they? I remember you when you first came here. You had passion, fight. You were gutsy. And now you're letting this pompous twat destroy your legacy. Our legacy.
Mark sits down at his desk and sighs. I'll get the biscuits.
I get it, Judy. But we're playing by different rules now. Then we've got to change the game. Take back control. What do you suggest?
Karen walks over with a packet of custard creams. Judy takes one and bites down hard, staring intently at Mark.
War.
Huh, yeah, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. To you again. End of episode.
End of episode.
Ooh. So the first chapter of the 3-chapter Last Resort Season 2 is complete. Oof. So much has happened in such a short period of time, Michael.
Well, thank you as well, Stephen. So much has happened, and the way you just described that, it sounded like It sounded like episode 1 of the Empire. You know, the Star Wars trilogy, then, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Revenge of the Script. It's
Revenge of the Script. Yeah. So, any guesses how many pages of script this very first episode has amounted to now?
Well, I know because I could see it, and it's a lot more than season 1's first chapter, that's for certain.
Season 1, first chapter, we averaged around 66, 67 pages of script, and around 20 scenes or 22 scenes. For this one, it's expanded to 39 scenes and 143 pages of script, just to bring that story to life. So if that's any indication that we're not actually rushing the story and it's just all happening organically, there you go. And as we've come to the end of this first script, the end of this first chapter, we really hope it makes sense and the story actually glues together because we're writing it in components. Yeah. With a storyline running through it, of course. But Judy is declaring war on Bernie and is rallying the team of management around her. So God knows what that's going to be like because we haven't got that far yet.
We know where this is all going, Mike. Don't be so coy. I think things are really going to start to heat up, and when we have our next episode where we focus on the script, we will be, and if I'm not mistaken, partway through the year by this point. So all these things that have happened, all these occurrences, it's all going to have had some little time for us all to bed in, and we'll rejoin the gang a little bit later on in the season. But the boy band, they are no more. We've got Robin joining us.
Whoa! Wait, let's allegedly no more. We haven't, Adam could recast. He could go and find other people to join.
Yeah,
his little band of merry men. He could start again.
Let me rephrase that then. The boy band, as we knew it, are no more. There we go. That's my caveat to it. And I guess that's just how it stands at the moment. Who knows what the future might bring? Could they reconcile?
Unless, of course, Adam and Dan decide to just keep going. But we don't know what Dan wants to do.
I know, but can you imagine a 2-boy northern boy band, singing weird songs and then maybe going off and presenting Saturday Night Takeaway for 20 years? I don't think it would happen, but I
feel it's my duty to say that. Have you never heard of the Proclaimers?
Well, yeah, I suppose if you consider, I mean, I'm going to say, do you consider the Proclaimers a boy band? That would be.
They're 2 boys and they play, so they are a band. If you really want to go traditional boy band, well, actually, it was a 3 in pros.
Yes, there were. There were 2 twins and then the other one. No, you know what I'm going to be. Matt and Luke and the other one. Yeah. he was the Andrew Ridgeley, wasn't he, of Bros? That was how it worked.
He's the poor guy on the piano in the Cause band that just got forgotten about constantly.
Yeah, that reminds me of that interview with the Cause. Remember when the lovely Donna Air asked them, the brother sister band asked them how they met, which I thought was a great interview technique.
Brilliant. So there we go, mate. Should we cover off what's to come and lay out some expectations?
So we've got 2 more chapters in this season to come. So a whole host of more fun coming down the line. We've got thrills, we've got spills, we've got fun, laughter, tears, and a few super surprises as well to keep everybody on their toes. But in the meantime, more guest specials are planned.
We're going to bring in some new voices. We've got some of our friends that are doing very well in the entertainment industry that's going to come and talk to us. So tune in next week for that, or in the next couple of weeks. And Steve and I will start putting pen to paper again and writing the next script for more exciting episodes of Last Resort.
So if you've got any ideas, thoughts about how you'd like the script to go, be always mindful. You can drop us a line on social media at Bad Scripts on Instagram, at ScriptsBad on Twitter. We're on Facebook. And, just give us a shout. If you've got an idea that you'd like to be included in the script, if you've got a corker of a line or a scene that you think would be great for our characters, let us know. There's always a chance that we might adapt and take that in and use it. So, feel free to send us your ideas too, if you think you've got something exciting for the gang to get up to. I guess on that note, mate, there's only one thing we can do. It's what we do every week. And I think people really enjoy this bit. We need Mike's mantra. We need to understand what our words of the week are really going to be. So, Mike, give us your words of wisdom for this week.
My words of wisdom this week is when you reflect back on life and you have embarrassing moments and moments of regret and moments that you would like to change, just remember, you were never that guy in an audition room wearing an Hawaiian shirt.
And on that note, thank you so much for joining us for Chapter 1. Stay tuned for coming soon, Chapter 2, and much, much more. Have a great week, and we'll see you all soon. Goodbye.
Bad Scripts was written and performed by Mike Garlia and Steve Jones, a Beach Tide production.